Welcome to the session Understanding a Unit of Competency. When you're using a unit of competency, it's important to make sure you have the latest version. These are available for download from www.training.gov.au. Training.gov.au is our national register and contains information on national training packages. A unit of competency is actually made up of two documents, the unit of competency and the assessment requirements. You will need both of these documents. A basic unit of competency will have the following information: the competency code, the competency name, the application, the elements and performance criteria, the foundation skills, the unit mapping, and some units will also include a range of conditions. The cover of the unit of competency includes the code and the name of the competency. The code is unique to the unit of competency and is made up of a series of letters and numbers. You will also find the release number on the bottom left-hand side of the unit of competency cover. The application section of the unit of competency provides a brief and concise overview of the unit, and here is where you will generally find the expected outcomes as well as who the unit is targeted at. You will also find in this section any licensing, legislative or certification requirements that apply to the unit. The unit sector section states where you should be able to use a unit of competency. For example, BSB ADM 302, Produce Text from Notes, is considered to be part of the administration industry. The elements of a unit of competency give you the broad or general outcome of a unit of competency. These are normally broken into stages. For example, establish contact with customers, identify customer needs, deliver service to customers, process customer feedback. The performance criteria, often referred to as the PCs, break the elements down a lot further. PCs provide an in-depth performance level that the learner needs to complete, usually including the tasks the learners need to complete, the tools they need to use, and the procedures they need to follow. Foundation skills consider the level of numeracy, literacy, and employability skills the learner will need to demonstrate to be deemed competent. You will need to refer to the Australian Core Skills Framework and the Core Skills for Work for further details of the foundation skills. Some units will also include a range of conditions. These are conditions that must be met for the learner to demonstrate competency. For example, in BSB ADM 302 Produce Text from Notes, it is a requirement that students use both oral and printed sources. The unit mapping section is where equivalent units are listed. For example, BSB ADM 302B is considered to be equivalent to BSB ADM 302. This section will also let you know if there are no previous equivalent units. The assessment requirements document includes the competency code, competency name, performance evidence, knowledge evidence, and the assessment conditions. The performance evidence section details what a student is required to complete for assessment, the amount of times the task is required to be completed, and the how, when, where the students are to complete the task. For example, BSB ADM 302, the performance evidence is required to be provided at least once. The knowledge evidence section lists the knowledge that the learner must be able to demonstrate. The knowledge may be embedded in the assessment tasks, or it may need to be addressed separately through things like short answer questions. The assessment conditions outline the conditions that must be demonstrated. For example, it may be that the tasks have to take place in a simulated or real workplace. It may be that there is specific equipment that must be used. This section also outlines the assessor requirements. For example, SITH CCC 007, Prepare Stocks, Sauces and Soups, requires that the trainer assessor has worked in the industry for at least 3 years where they've applied the skills and knowledge from the unit. And then also, if it's actually being delivered as part of a Cert 3 or 4 in commercial cookery, then the assessor must hold a Cert 3 or 4 in commercial cookery in order to assess the unit.